Well, hey folks, I'm so excited. I'm actually thrilled that you've chosen to continue with me through this playlist I have entitled as Getting Started, where I'm hoping at least that I'm giving you the most precise yet concise and informative material that you can possibly find anywhere as far as how to prepare for transplant and then more especially how to live the transplant life after the fact. Now, let me remind you that these videos, generally speaking, are only about 6-7 minutes long, something like that. So don't expect that I'm giving you the totality of all the information that you need. That's why toward the end of the video, it's so important that you click on the videos that I point to on the right side of the screen over here, at least my right, at least, because that's going to give you the up next video, the one I suggest you watch next, as well as several videos that are related to the video you're watching now, where we dig a little bit deeper into the information, give a little bit more detail, and hopefully you can live the very best life based on that information. Now, with that being said, in my estimation, in my mind could be off, but in my mind, this is by far the most important video you're going to watch during the entire series. That is, if you decide never to watch another video put out by myself, Jim Burrow, the Transplant Helper, then at least you'll have this much information. At least you'll have the opportunity to do your best. And that's because this contains within it what I'm going to share with you today, the key, number one key. See that number one key that I can offer you as far as how to recover from transplant and how to be sure as you're waiting for transplant right now that you're putting yourself in the very best position to have a great recovery, an easy recovery, a successful recovery, a full recovery, okay? And it's very simple. Here's the key. It's what I like to call keep your legs, okay? Keep your legs. Now, if that doesn't make any sense to you, I'll be honest with you. When I first heard the term back a number of years ago during one of my transplant evaluations, I had no idea what that meant. And I'm thankful that UAB Hospital, while they were evaluating me among the 4 times I went through the process, every time they did that, in addition to all the battery of tests that I went through, the examinations, the blood work, the EKG, the echo, all that stuff, in addition to that, what they did also was put me through a series of training sessions with various professions. And in this case, it came down to sitting with some rehab specialists, some therapists as far as rehabilitation, that sort of thing. And one man, I hate it, I don't even remember his name, but who sat down with me and used that phrase. He said, Jim, if you don't do anything else while you're waiting for transplant, whether you wait 1 month or 1 year or 10 years, keep your legs. And what he explained about that was basically that when you're sick, when you're ill, when you're in failure, a lot of times the thing that you're basically unable to do is to exercise on a large basis. You know, I'm not necessarily going to be running around the track or going to the gym and spending a lot of time lifting weights or, swimming in the pool doing cardio if, like I was in stage 4 heart failure. That's why I was listed for transplant. But he said to me then, the most important thing you can do for yourself right now is anywhere you are, any position you're in, constantly be working your legs, pumping your legs, flexing your ankles, bending your knees, whatever you can do with that, in order to try to strengthen or at least maintain as much strength in those legs as possible. Because he explained that the real key to having a successful recovery after transplant, I mean by that, right after surgery, is how quickly you're able to get up out of that bed and walk down that hall, okay? And at the time, I didn't necessarily understand it, but after things went on and on, as I got sicker and sicker, as over time, I spent, weeks and even months at a time in the hospital, unable to do an awful lot. One of the things I constantly remembered is that I needed to be keeping my legs. That is, when I could get up and go and walk and exercise, I did that. When I could, even many times I would be laying in my hospital bed, and I'm 6'1", so it wasn't that hard for me to do this. I would lay in my hospital bed, basically tilt the head of the bed up so I would slide down in the bed, put my feet up against the little foot plate there, the footboard, and I would definitely really do presses right off of the footboard, constantly pressing up and down with my legs, in my hips, in my thighs, with my knees. And then at times, if I couldn't do that, I would put my feet up against that same footboard and I would just flex my feet, anything. Wiggle your toe. I don't know what it is, but do everything you can to maintain the strength that you have in your legs so that when that surgery is over, you can hit the ground running. And in my case, I can absolutely say it worked, folks. When I kept my legs leading into transplant, I was the guy that within 45 minutes of the surgery itself, I had my breathing tube out. Within the same day, was sitting in a chair. Within the same 24-hour period at least, sitting in the chair and standing up, walking over the sink to brush my teeth. The nurse turned their back to me for a couple of seconds too long, and I walked out in the hall, and I walked down the hall and back down the hall. Of course, by then they chased me down, and they were very angry. But, I was able to get up and go. I was able to move, and I give all the credit in the world to that one thing that I was taught way back then in that small phrase, keep your legs. Okay. Again, I know that you're sick. I know that you're struggling. I know that exercise is not easy, but if you can't do anything else, just move your legs, keep them moving. Don't allow that muscle tissue to break down. Don't allow yourself to be put in a position where you're going to be too weak to get up and move, because once you get that new organ, hopefully, whether again, it's a heart, lung, liver, kidney, pancreas, whatever, hopefully just getting the new organ is going to give you a little bit of boost. And if you got the muscle tone and the strength and the stamina to get up and go after that, you're going to be much better off. And at the end of the day, I can still remember, I can still hear it ringing in my ears. And I was so excited about it when my doctors came in only about 48 hours after transplant. And they said to me specifically, Jim, you have had the best recovery we've seen in 25 years. And again, that's a testament to that one thing, that key to recovery, keeping my legs. I hope this helped you out in some way. Again, there'll be videos popping up over here. I'll watch next video as well as some other suggested videos related to such. And I really encourage you also to be prepared for the watch next video in this case, which is going to be the key to survival after transplant. Thank you so much for joining me. And until next time, stay stronger, friends.